Hello, and thanks for taking a look at the Bodog Poker Review provided by onlinepoker.org. Today we are going to be doing a review of Bodog Poker. The downloaded client is right here. We're in the lobby of Bodog Poker right now, and you can see some of the promotions listed across the left sidebar. On the right sidebar is just a standard set of rules for Texas Hold'em, and then in the middle is the lobby with the actual games. So we're going to filter through the cash games, run through the cash games, and then we're going to do a review of the sit and go and a tournament area as well, and then take a look at the actual tables on the site. So we're going to filter by stakes for the cash games. We're in no limit, or we will be in a second, so I check this box. Now we're in the no limit cash games area for Texas Hold'em. You can see the games start off at just 2 cent, 5 cent, and then go up to 10.20. So 10.20 is not the highest limit. So they don't have any super high stakes games. Definitely aim towards more mid stakes type player. You can see a bunch of games are running at 2.4, 3.6, and 5.10. So while there's not really any super high stakes action, there's definitely a ton of tables running in the mid stakes to low stakes area, which would be the primary tables for the majority of players anyway. But Bodog is great for poker, largely because it's a multi-platform site. On Bodog, you could play casino or bet on sports as well. So a lot of those players that are in the casino area or the sports betting area often wander over to the poker room and sit down at those tables, and typically they aren't too good, so it's usually easy money. If you're watching this video, your primary interest is probably poker. Maybe it's not, but you probably have a decent idea of what you're doing. So the games are relatively easy to beat when compared to a lot of the other poker sites out there. So that's one of the reasons that Bodog Poker is so popular, and they're definitely really easy to play um, as far as opponents go. So you can see some promotions on the left as mentioned previously, but we're going to go over to the tournaments area right now, or the sit and goes area right now, and then tournaments right after that. So you can see they start off with just points that you could use from your account, your player points, or otherwise just $1, and then they top out at those are play money. So they top out at $220. So as was the case with the cash games, nothing too super high stakes, lots of mid stakes types games, lower high stakes games, low stakes games, things like that. I can see some of the different types of sit and goes that they have available: turbos, regular speed, 6 max, full ring. Full ring games are actually 10 players as opposed to 9. A lot of sites have 9 players, but Bodog is actually 10. So they have heads up, 6 max, and full ring tables, and varying speeds, blind increases. Lots of different games available, all mainstream games, however. With Hold'em, Omaha, and Stud, they don't stray too far from the mainstream games. You're not going to find Bodoogie or draw games or anything like that. Really just focuses on the mainstream games, which again is perfectly fine for the majority of people. Few people are interested in those types of games regularly anyway. So for all intents and purposes, they've all the good games covered. So those are the sit and goes. We'll go over the actual tournaments right now before we go over to the cash games area, and you can see the different tournaments they have available. Top listed is a satellite to the main event, World Series of Poker. Buy-in for that was around $500 total, including the buy-in fee. But if we filter, we'll see that they start off at free tournaments, lots and lots of free tournaments actually, and then just 25 cents, or you could use your player points, just 25 cents to buy in. Lots of $1 tournaments, and then tournaments that go up to $500. Of course, most of those are satellites to the main event. However, there are some listed $100,000 guarantee, which is pretty significant. It's a pretty large tournament. It's not the biggest in the world, but it's definitely not the smallest either. So, an ample offering of tournaments, particularly in the mid-stakes range. You can see lots of $10,000, $5,000 guarantees, things along those lines. Nothing too super high stakes, again, but definitely no shortage of tournaments in the mid stakes, low high stakes area with the $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 guarantees with varying buy-ins from $50 or even less. You can see $4,000 deep stack tournaments or $2,000 turbo tournaments. Pretty much anything you can imagine in various games as well, Omaha or Hold'em, what have you. So those are the tournaments. Went through the sit and goes already. Now we're going to go back over to the actual cash games and do a run through of what the tables look like, so you can get a feel for how they play. And Here we go. Filter by stakes again. 2 cent, 5 cent, and they run up to well, we already did this, but they run up to 10.20. We're gonna open up a 25, 50 cent 6 max table. You can see in the lobby right here, everything's outlined with the general details of the table before you join. Percentage of players that head to a flop, the average pot size, number of players, the wait list, and so on and so forth. So open up a table now. You can see what they look like. Looking to open up this one right here. You can hear the sound effects. There it is. So here's the actual table, and you can see how they look and how they're working. We'll let this hand play out, and then we'll let one additional hand play out after this. You can see that you can upload or use your own unique avatar. Beyond this, it's a pretty basic layout. Might look kind of confusing at first, but it's really quite simple. Spotlight highlights the action, and then as it rotates around. Aside from that, just your player name, stack size, and your avatar. Really nothing else to worry about. Quite simple to use, and quite simple to follow. So we'll let this hand play out here to get a feel for how the software works. Bodog allows you to play multiple tables at a time. However, you can't play many tables at a time. They're not the ideal site for mass multi-tabling, but that is not a worry for most players. Most players aren't going to be playing more than 4 or 6 tables at a time. So for pretty much everyone, it's a great site for multi-tabling. The software is really quick and easy to use, and it's just a great site overall for cash games, tournaments, or sit and goes. So that's a general overview of Bodog. As mentioned previously, it's definitely a great site, even if you're not a great player. Of course, the key to winning in poker is just being better than your opponents, and there's plenty of subpar players that join Bodog and wander over to the poker room, and there's lots of easy money to be made. They always have lots of promotions running. That's definitely one of the big benefits of playing on Bodog. The never-ending promotions, be it in the casino, sportsbook, or the poker room. The softness of the games, and it's just a great site all around. It does accept U.S. players as well as players from any country aside from the U.S. But it's one of the primary sports poker rooms for U.S. players, and it's definitely worth a look. Look for the bonus code at the beginning of this video, as well as a bonus code at onlinepoker.org, which brought you this Bodog poker review. Thanks for watching.